Good afternoon. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this presentation. My name is Samuel Metellus. This is Module 1, Me and Action Research. This is EDL 803. First, I'm going to talk a little bit about my bio. So, I was born in New York City, but I was raised in Haiti. So, I speak French, Haitian Creole, and English. This is my second class in the Educational Leadership Master's Program. I have a bachelor's of science in health and physical education. I also have a master's in organizational leadership. So, work and hobbies. I've been teaching health and physical education for the past 5 years, 1 year at a middle school and 4 years at a high school. I'm currently the JV girls soccer coach at a high school in the city. I love to play and watch sports. I currently play in an over 30s league. I currently live in Philadelphia with my wife. Critical reflection of action research. So first, we want to talk about what is action research. So action research closes the barrier between participant and researchers. So teachers actively participate and analyze research doing action research. Action research starts with real life problems and involve a deeper dive into research. And then we want to talk about what is the purpose of action research. Action research helps teachers inquire into their own practices and using this information to inform changes and improvement in their teaching method. So really, action research helps teachers really reflect on their practices. Action research is used to support the professional development of English language learners, teachers, by encouraging them to reflect on their teaching practices and experiment with new strategies in the classroom. Critical reflection of action research continue. What is the goal of action research? So one of the goals of action research is to promote a more inclusive and equitable education system by identifying and implementing effective strategies that meet the needs of all learners, regardless of their cultural background and cultural abilities. Secondly, to create a culture of inquiry and continuous improvement that encourages professionals to reflect on their practices, identify areas of improvement, and experiment with new approaches to achieve better outcomes. And lastly, one of the goals of action research is to design to create expert teachers. What are the main steps of action research? So, according to Segor, uh, those are the following steps of action research: identifying the problem and envision success, develop a plan of action, then you will collect data, then you will analyze data and form a conclusion, modify your theory and repeat the cycle, and then you will report the result. So basically, action research overall is a cycle of where you are currently, where you want to go, and how to get there. What is the difference between action research and traditional research? So we're going to start with traditional research. Traditional research uses a systematic approach of data collection to test new theories. The researcher is more like an observer, like a bystander. Meanwhile, in contrast, action research is focused on improved practice and more collaborative process. The researcher is an active participant instead of just being a bystander. What are some common problems associated with action research? So even though action research is amazing, there are some downsides to it. Some of the problems associated with action research includes time constraint, very time consuming, lack of support, ethical issues, funding issues, it can be costly, and resistance to change. Evaluating teaching practices. How could action research improve my teaching? Uh, if I use action teachers, I believe I will continue to promote a safe and inclusive learning environment. Action research will make me an active participant in students' learning. I will be a better with reflective practices. I will engage in better reflective practices, and I will also increase student engagement. What the research says on the impact of action research on student learning and teachers' performance. First, we're going to start with student learning. It improves students' achievements, increase students' engagement and motivation. And then on the other end, for teachers' performance, improvement in teacher knowledge, increasing in confidence, and job satisfaction. What do I think about action research? Me personally, I think action research should be implemented in school that has the resources because it's very time consuming and it can be costly. I think it's great for students' engagement. Teachers can improve their skills and develop. And then action research can actually help change school culture to continuous learning and improvement in school. So students aren't learning stuff that they will forget the next day. They can learn lifelong lessons. My school and action learning. This is my first year at North Bend, so far I have not seen any research done. I have learned that action research involves a lot of collaboration and peer-to-peer exchange and feedback. Meanwhile, at my school is it's a big school. That will be a challenge because staff does not get an opportunity to interact or share ideas with each other because we have different schedule and sometimes we don't get to meet because of coverages. CLO support. Course learning outcome 1.2. During action research, teachers are collecting data, implementing plans, and evaluating teaching in order to improve process. Course outline learning outcome 4.1. During action research, teachers are evaluating their curriculum by reflecting on their teaching practices. Another course learning outcome. Action research promotes the high quality, equitable teaching practices to support students and staff success. Course learning outcome 4.3. During action research, teachers develop and implement formal and informal, culturally responsive and accessible assessments. The last course learning outcome. During action research, teachers collaboratively evaluate, develop, and implement curriculum and assessment that is equitable and coherent in order to promote both staff and student success. This is my reflection. First, we're going to start with the standard correlation. This assignment correlates to the standard for this assignment because I'm learning about action research. I will be able to reflect on my teaching practices and come up with ways to develop a culturally responsive and responsible curriculum, which will promote future success and well-being of students and staff. This assignment is relevant to the current learning because this is a research-based class and I'm learning about action research. After interacting with the resources, I understand that action learning takes time, but it's a powerful tool that can help both teachers' performance and students' learning. My final reflection. Overall, this was a great assignment. As a future administrator, I will need to find ways to improve students' engagement and develop my staff to create meaningful professional developments where staff can collaborate. I will include action research techniques in my professional development in order to develop and maximize my staff potential. And I'm looking forward to read my peers' responses so I can interact with their interpretation of the assignment as well. Those are my references. Thank you very much for taking